Hi guys, welcome to Live with Chef Susie. It's great to have you here, and we are pickling some red onions. Today's recipes, there's always going to be three, are going to be avocado toast topped with pickled red onions. We're going to do a goji berry and toasted almond quinoa pilaf, and then we're going to make my sister's very best vegan banana bread. So first I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Chef Susie, and I work for UNR, Nevada Extension. And we are located on this website here, extension.unr.edu, and I teach nutrition education in the school district here in Las Vegas, Henderson, and Clark County. So it's the Clark County School District, and those kids, boy, do I miss them. I usually get right in front of them every day. We do live cooking demonstrations where we talk about healthy tips and tricks and how to stay healthy and how to make simple, easy meals like we're making today. Every time virtual video, I always start off with a quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is coming from John F. Kennedy, one of our presidents. And the quote goes like this: "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." That's today's quote of the day. And I also like to mention some positive signs of people making great moments in history during this pandemic and how they're surviving and how they're using their time wisely. And I'd like to say that when we find something we enjoy to do, like maybe painting or some crafting or maybe journaling, that those are activities we enjoy, and it's great for our mental health. So I hope everybody's hanging in there and doing the best they can to stay positive and, more importantly, to stay healthy. So these are red onions, and I'm pickling because pickled red onions are to die for. They are good on everything. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm making fish tacos, and I'll be using my pickled red onions. These I've already made, and this is what they're going to look like after I show you how to make them. So all you'll need is a pickling jar. I'm going to use a 1 quart mason jar, and then you'll just need sliced red onions into big, long ringlets like these big circles, and you'll just put them right into the jar. As simple as can be. You can also pickle other vegetables. Like for instance, I pickled these radishes today to go with my fish tacos tomorrow. And I pickled them about 3 hours ago. They're already looking pretty good. So pickling is fun. It's also historical. It's a Dutch word, which means brine. And what happened was in the 16th century, the UK was bringing over some of the most amazing vegetables. And the United States, we wanted to save those vegetables and find a way to keep them fresh. So we started pickling, and that's how it started. It's a very interesting way to make sure when you go to your favorite farmer's market in the summer and you want to keep those throughout the winter, you can pickle them. And you can also ferment a lot of foods. We do food preservation at unr.edu. Lizzie is her name, and she's amazing. She does it right in our kitchen. We have a nutrition kitchen there. You can find that on unr.edu, and you can go in the search bar and just type in food preservation. Or you can find a lot of great tips and tricks at the National Center of Home Food Preservation. Do we have anybody on with us today? I'd like to say hi to everybody and thank you for your support and thanks for being here. We love having you and we love what we do because even though we can't be in front of you, we're still going to come any way we can. And we're here today, right in my own kitchen. So I've got my raw sliced red onions right here in the jar. Now we're going to make our pickling brine. So today's brine is going to be used with 1 whole lime and 1 whole lemon. I'm going to juice them right here with this juicer. And this is going to be the acid of our brine. So we're going to put this into the jar. Now remember, we want to do 50% warm water and then 50% of the other liquids. The other liquids are lemon, honey, lime, and rice wine vinegar. And that's it, guys. It's really, really simple. Lemon, lime, the red onion. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of honey, which of course I'll use raw, local honey. And then we're going to use 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. And that's it, guys. So I've got my lime. Now I'm just going to cut my lemon. Now this is great. So for tomorrow, we have a friend visiting in from Maui, and we're going to make some fish tacos on the grill. So I needed a nice coleslaw to make with it. And then I thought maybe I'll pickle some red onions and some radish. We'll put that right on the tacos. So whatever you're making, trust me when I tell you, you're going to thank me later. These red onions are good on everything. That's why I thought they'd be great on top of the avocado toast. So I've got my 1 lemon and my 1 lime. And I like to use a measuring cup to see where I stand because I still have to use half warm water after I figure out where these liquids go. So I've got 1 juice lemon and 1 juice lime. Now I'm going to do some rice wine vinegar. This is rice wine vinegar. You can find it in most stores, about $2.99 a jar, and it is what you need to make these pickled onions phenomenal. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup right here. I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and then I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of raw local honey. There's my raw local honey here. Here we go. Okay. And then all we're going to do, guys, is mix that together. And there it is. It's that simple. And then after we mix this, we add the warm water. We fill it in our jar. We make sure our onions are completely submerged, or whatever other vegetable you're using. Submerge them completely, and you'll let them sit at room temp for 4 to 6 hours, and then you'll refrigerate them. So pickling's a lot of fun. There's another pickling thing I love to do. It's called giardiniera. And that's an Italian way of doing it. Giardiniera means from the garden. And Italians like to use it. They pickle their vegetables with cauliflower and carrot and celery and bell peppers. And it's served as an antipasti. You can also make one called an escabeche. And that's a great one too. It's like a marinade made with jalapenos, carrots, and garlic cloves. So there's so many ways. And when you do this before you make your entrees for your family, it just makes your meals pop. It really does. So far, guys, I've got my lemon, my lime, my honey, and my rice wine vinegar. And that is all I need. Now I'm just going to match it, 50% warm water, and I'm going to submerge my onions right into the jar. And we've got fresh pickled onions. So I've got here about 1 cup. So I'm going to put about 1 cup of water. So that makes 2 cups. So now we're at 2 cups exactly. And I'm going to go ahead and put this right into the jar. Now you want to make sure your onions are submerged. So you'll just push them down, get them all the way submerged into that water, and then you'll simply put the lid on and leave it alone for 4 to 6 minutes. We have some questions out there?
Yes, how long will they last without going bad?
These will last about a week in your refrigerator, about a week. And you're going to use them on everything. Salads, you can do them on soups, tacos, avocado toast, quinoa. You can put them, I mean, you can be so creative, and they're just so amazing because they're sweet and sour. So they really do make meals pop. But this is what they look like now, and this is what they're going to look like in about 4 to 6 hours. It's totally exciting. And now we can get on to the actual recipe, which is called avocado toast. You are going to love this recipe. Avocado toast is so popular at many restaurants all over the nation, especially at the restaurant I work at night called The Modern Vegan. And we make one that's amazing. But I didn't want to steal their recipe, so I made my own. But what I learned about avocado toast is that you never just want to take your avocado and put it onto your toast just right from the avocado. You want to make an avocado crema. And how do you do that? Well, you're going to need a bowl, and you're going to need an avocado. So I've got my bowl and my avocado, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this multi-grain toast. You can use any toast you like, but I do love bread that has a lot of seeds. This is one of my favorite. It's called Dave's Killer Bread Good Seed. All those seeds give you all the omega-3s that you need, and they're important, a lot of antioxidants, and the bread that you use is so important. So this is the one I'm using, a toasted whole grain with lots of seeds. So I've got my avocado. I'm just going to cut this avocado in half, and I'm going to put that into the bowl and make my avocado cream. Now, I used to just put the avocado right on the toast before I knew the trick. And the trick is you always have to add fresh citrus and a little bit of salt. Always, no matter what, to all of your avocado entrees. Always. I'm having a problem here with my ball, my seed, but I got it. So remember, guys, you're in the kitchen, you're relaxed, play some music, enjoy your time. You're making your food with all the love it takes because people can taste that kind of love. So now I've got my very ripe avocado. I'm just going to take a fork and just kind of mash it together and make it into a softer substance here. And then I'm going to add a half of a juiced lemon. And then I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And then I'll put it aside because let me tell you, that little bit of lemon and that little bit of salt make this avocado a dream come true. It turns your avocado into a game changer. So it's a next level. And that's what you always want to do, no matter what. So I've got it all nice and mashed. Now I'm going to add my half of a fresh lemon. Got my lemon right here. It's a big lemon. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to juice it. And I'm just going to put that juice right into the bowl. And you can smell the magic that happens right away. So you got your lemon and your avocado. And now I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Just a little pinch of salt there. And then I'm going to mix it again together with my fork. And then you've got the best avocado to spread onto your whole grain seeded toast. You can also use a sourdough rye. You can use whatever bread you have in the house, really. But this is going to be something you'll make probably for breakfast. My friend Lauren likes to top hers with a nice poached egg. Today, we're topping our avocado with pickled red onions, chia seeds, a little bit of cilantro, and some pepitas, some pumpkin seeds. And that's about it, guys. It's a very, very simple dish to make. And you can do it your way. You could add some chili flakes, some cayenne, turmeric, whatever it is you like. But I'm just doing it the way I like it. And you can do your own way. But if you look at this beautiful mixture, now it's spread and ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll use this small rubber spatula and I'll put this avocado right onto the toast. And I'll just spread it out. And again, guys, this is just the beginning of the art. You can take it from here so many levels, anywhere you want. You can use leftovers in your fridge to make this into a culinary creation that you can call your own. And that's what's so fun about making magic in the kitchen. And I love what I do because it's about teaching people how to make simple, healthy dishes that they can use with ingredients they have right in their own pantry. So if you have an avocado that might be going bad and you want to make use of it, make yourself some avocado toast. But don't forget that lemon juice makes a huge difference with a little bit of salt. So I've got my avocado spread onto my toast. And next up, guys, I'm going to add a pop of color and a pop of flavor with my pickled red onions. This is going to be something that you're always going to do forever once you learn how to do it. Like I said, Lizzie is the best person for the job. She does it at the UNR Extension office, and she's great at it, and she teaches classes, and it's free. So I've got these beautiful red onions. I'm just going to take them, and I'm going to lay them right on top of the avocado, of the guacamole spread that I made. I'm calling it a guacamole spread because it looks like it, but it's just avocado with fresh lemon and salt. So I've got the red onions right here, and now I'm going to top it with some chia seeds. Then I'm also going to put some pepitas and a little bit of cilantro. But most importantly, guys, I'm going to add a thin slice of radish. Why? Well, because radishes have such a great crunch that it really brings this recipe alive. And I'm going to do this with a mandolin because we never want our people to take bites from their avocado toast that they can't handle. So you want everything the same size. So I'm going to take this radish and I'm going to slice it so it's all nice and even, the same size for both pieces. And I'm going to add it on top of my avocado toast. Now you can just slice this thin, however it takes, but it does add some beautiful color and it adds that crunch that we all need. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 1, and 2. Then I'm going to top it with a couple sprinkles of our chia seeds. Now remember, guys, chia seeds, chia means strength. This has been around since the Mayans and the Aztecs. This is how warriors made things happen. The stamina it takes, because chia seeds gives you just that. It is a superfood. It's got fiber. It also has protein. It's number one in everything. So you want to keep these in your house, and you want to use them as much as you can. Where? Maybe in smoothies, maybe in salads, maybe wherever it takes. I mean, you can never go wrong. Now, what I like to do is add them into a little bit of water and turn them into a paste and use them to bind my cookies together. That's a great way of using chia seeds. So I'm just topping this off right here, very lightly. Now I'm going to go in for the pepitas. Pepitas are pumpkin seeds. And again, they add that little bit of crunch that this avocado toast needs. So I've got my pepitas right on top. And then I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh cilantro. Can't go wrong with some fresh cilantro anywhere you can get it. And I'm just going to put it right on top. Add a little bit of green there. Now this avocado toast is my recipe, but like I said, you'll make it your way. But this is a perfect combination of sweet, savory, delicious, and healthy. And this right here is the avocado toast. And we can move on to our next recipe. Our next recipe today, number 2, is a quinoa. Now, we've all made quinoa many, many times in many different ways. And quinoa is a lot of fun. Again, it's another superfood that brings power and stamina. I use my quinoa. What I do is I make it 1 week ahead of time, and then I use the rest on top of my salads to add that extra depth of crunch. Now, you can make quinoa any way you like. This is a very simple way of making it. It's called Success Boil in the Bag Quinoa. And I've already boiled my water over here, and my quinoa is already ready to go. So I'm going to pull it out of its water, out of the bag. I'm going to put it right into a bowl here. That's how simple this is. This is a tri-colored quinoa that I just pulled out of boiling water. It boiled for 10 minutes in its own bag. Very simple to make, but you can buy the package at the store and just go by the instructions on the box any way you like. I do like the tri-color one, but you can use any one you like, and you can't go wrong with quinoa. You just can't. So what we're going to do here, guys, is this quinoa, I'm going to let it sit for a minute because it's burning hot, and I'm going to show you my next trick. This quinoa, I work with quinoa many, many ways, and I found the best way to do it is with goji berries. Why did I choose goji berries? Well, goji berries, aka wolf berries, are another superfood. Now these are dried goji berries. I put these dried goji berries right in the bottom of a bowl. There's about maybe a tablespoon, and when I add my hot quinoa, it just is amazing. It really is. It makes them come back alive again, which is great. So I'm going to turn my other burner on here. I'm going to toast some almonds. Let's see if this is going for me. Let's see if this is turned on. So I've got it on, and looks like it's getting hot. Yep. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to take these sliced almonds, and I'll put them in a pan. Why am I toasting almonds? Let me tell you guys, toasted almonds make your whole house smell amazing, and they add that beautiful crunch and that beautiful protein to our dish. So I'm just taking a little bit of, maybe 2 tablespoons of almonds. I'm going to toast them in a pan. You can bake them in the oven, but watch them. They only take about 3 minutes, and then they're ready. So I've got these dried goji berries, which are amazing. Again, another superfood with 8 essential amino acids. It's a medicinal plant from ancient China, which used to help in eye, liver, and kidney conditions. It's got a slightly sweet and sour taste to it. And again, it's a superfood. So since these goji berries are here and they're dried, I'm going to add this hot quinoa on top of it and make them come alive. My sister couldn't believe I did this. She said, I've never thought of doing goji berries this way. Well, she loved it. So the quinoa is nice and hot, and I'm going to mix it in to the goji berries because they're dried and they'll get nice and plump when I do that. And then next, I'll add my toasted almonds. But before that, let's make our sauce. So again, this is my recipe, and you can come up with your own because you'll see, you just look in your pantry and you can make anything happen here. But the sauce is an interesting sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a minute while my almonds are on the stove here. They're toasting very nicely. You can smell them already. While they're sitting there, I'm going to get another bowl and make the sauce. So the sauce for this dressing is very simple. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and a teaspoon of dried basil. There it is, dried basil. Alrighty, let's get my, here we go, guys. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. That's 1. That's 2. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. I used 100% pure maple syrup. And then I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm going to do a teaspoon of dried basil. All right, got my dried basil right here. I got this at the market with you, Ruthie. When you took me to that beautiful market, what was that name of that place? Had the most amazing stuff. This is where I got this dried basil. I put my 1 teaspoon in there. And then I'm going to toss this together. And this is our beautiful sauce. I'm going to use a whisk here. Now, before I mix this sauce into my quinoa, I'm going to add my toasted, beautiful almonds. Almost ready there. And then we'll make this magic happen. Now, again, this quinoa can be a side dish. This can be an antipasti. This can be whatever you want it to be. For me, I make it ahead of time and I put it on all my salads. It just is a great way to add protein and fiber and lots of great, wonderful ingredients to your salads. Sometimes salads just need that extra thick crunch to them. So I've got my toasted almonds. I'm going to dump them right in there like that. Turn my oven off here. And then I'm going to add my beautiful dressing that we made. Very simple. You saw what I did. I just used red wine vinegar, maple syrup, extra virgin olive oil, and dried basil. Of course, you could put a pinch of salt and pepper, but I don't even think it needs it. It's a beautiful dish. It really is. So I'm going to put this into a bowl. I'll garnish it with a little bit of cilantro again because I have it here. And like I said, I usually put this right in the refrigerator. I let it get cold. This can be eaten room temp, any way you like, really. Room temp, cold, warm, however you enjoy it is the best way. So I'm going to put a couple sprigs of cilantro right on top of this. Give it a little green. And voila, we've got the goji berry and toasted almond quinoa. And I call it a pilaf. So I'm going to give you a little photo of this, and I'll send some photos later as well. And I'll put this to the side, and we'll get started on the best part of this whole recipe, of this whole day, really. And that's called my sister's best vegan banana bread. So I didn't think she had a great banana bread recipe. She kept saying, Susie, I got this recipe. It is amazing. Oh, come on. Everybody makes banana bread. How can you make it better than everybody else? Well, she wasn't kidding. It's amazing. And amazing because she found these great little tricks. So I can't say recipes because it's not. I call it my sister's best banana bread. We have any questions there? Everybody's doing good today? I'm sure you've all used up all of your bananas and made banana bread. I'm sure that's the one thing most people made in their kitchens this month and last month was banana bread. When you see bananas going bad and they get nice and brown, we all throw them in the freezer. That's the move. Well, I throw them in the freezer too. Then I try to figure out what can I do with them. Well, this banana bread is amazing. So what I did was I took these 3 bananas before they got totally bad, and they're the perfect ripe bananas for banana bread. And I put them in the freezer for a little while. You do want to put them in the freezer because for some reason, that little frozen texture on them really helps this banana bread recipe. That's a pro tip. So I've got my first banana right here. I'm going to mash 3 bananas. This recipe calls for 3 bananas. So I'm going to mash these 3 bananas and put them aside and talk to you about the rest of the recipe. So I've got my 3rd banana going right here in the bowl, and then I'm going to mash it up. I mash that with, got a spoon right here. Just going to mash it together. This is 3 bananas, and the rest of the recipe is not as crazy as it sounds, but it is going to call for almond milk, apple cider vinegar, maple syrup or sugar, avocado oil or coconut oil, vanilla, a pinch of salt, baking soda, cinnamon, and whole wheat pastry flour. Now, there's two tricks to this recipe. One is the fact that using this amazing whole wheat pastry flour. It's the best for making anything from cookies, muffins, pie crust, cakes, brownies, pancakes, or breads. I've never thought in a million years I'd ever use a whole wheat pastry flour, but now I'll never go back. But of course, you can use regular flour too. It makes just as good as a banana bread. So I've got my 3 bananas nice and mashed. I'm going to put them aside, and I'm going to get mise en place with the rest of the ingredients. That's going to be the whole wheat pastry flour. We're going to use almond milk, vanilla flavored. Now this is cold in the refrigerator, but I wanted to show you that you can also purchase this one here, which lasts even longer, and it's in the pantry section on a shelf in the grocery store, and you can put it right in your pantry and use it when you're ready. And then as soon as you open it, it goes in the refrigerator. But it's nice to have one of these laying around, because if you need a liquid for a smoothie or a liquid for a coffee or anything that needs liquid, you don't have it in your fridge, you'll always have one of these in the backup. And it lasts forever. This one here is good until January. Can you believe that? And it's a vanilla flavored. So my sister believes that it needs to be a vanilla flavored almond milk for this recipe. So we're going to use that. We're also going to use apple cider vinegar. We're also going to use sugar or maple syrup. Today we'll use maple syrup. And then we're going to use avocado oil or coconut oil. Here's the coconut oil. We'll go with that one today. And then we're going to use a teaspoon of vanilla. I've got vanilla right here. And then we're going to use some salt, some baking soda. Got that right here. And then we're going to use some cinnamon. Got my cinnamon right here. And then we're going to use our whole wheat pastry flour. And that's it. These are the ingredients on mise en place and ready to go. So let's get started. We've already got our mashed bananas. So step 1, you want to preheat your oven for 350 degrees. This banana bread will bake for 1 hour. So let's make our buttermilk. Yes, I'm making a vegan buttermilk. It's probably one of the second best tricks of this whole recipe. So I'll need a small little bowl to make that in. And I'll use this little measuring cup here as a bowl. And this is going to be a vegan style buttermilk. And all you'll want to do is set it aside and let it curdle. It's 1 teaspoon of apple vinegar and a 1/4 cup of almond milk. So we'll need a 1/4 cup of almond milk, which I've got it right here. This is vanilla flavored almond milk. It's a 1/4 cup. And then we're going to use in here, while it curdles, is a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, which I've already poured out over here. 1 teaspoon. Just 1 teaspoon. There we go. This is our buttermilk. So we're going to let that sit aside. I'm going to mix it just a little bit, and it's going to sit aside and get curdled. And that's going to be the buttermilk of this recipe. Isn't that cool? So we'll sit that aside, and we'll get started on the dry ingredients. So the dry ingredients are going to be 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour. 2 cups. Get started here. All right, I've got my 1 cup here. That's 2 cups. Again, whole wheat pastry flour. I never in a million years would have ever thought to use it. Boy, is it awesome. Now remember, guys, you preheated your oven to 350. And this is going to cook for an hour. And I'm going to spray some nonstick spray into a bread baking pan. So let me get that pan set up over here. I've got it right here. So this is my baking pan. You can use any bread pan you want. And this is the one I'm using. I'm just going to spray it with this Pam olive oil nonstick spray. That way it's all prepped over here and ready to go. All right. So next up, we've got my 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour. And then we're going to add to this pastry flour our other dry ingredients, which is the cinnamon. Cinnamon calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Here we go. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, I've got my 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Got my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, these are our dry ingredients for the best vegan banana bread you'll ever have right here. And I've already had it 3 times, so I can testify for it. Got my salt. And then next I'm going to do my baking soda. Baking soda calls for 1 teaspoon. Get 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Here we go. 1 teaspoon. And those are all of our dry ingredients. So I'm just going to take this fork and just kind of mix them together. So far, guys, I've got my dry ingredients ready to rock. I've got my 3 ripe bananas all mashed and ready to go. And I've got my buttermilk sitting over here, and it's already curdling. I wish you could see it. It's so cool. So now we'll just need to put together our wet ingredients. And what I'll do is I'll add these wet ingredients right into my mashed banana. So the wet ingredients are going to be a teaspoon of vanilla. This is vanilla right here. And this is a teaspoon right here. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to add, see here's some maple syrup. The maple syrup is a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. That seems like a lot, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, but I'm sure it's for a reason. So I've got my 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Now remember, you could have used sugar or maple syrup. It's your choice, but we're using maple syrup here. Okay. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. 1/4 cup of coconut oil. This is my coconut oil. I always keep it. It's always in liquid form because I buy this. It's called non-hydrogenated. So it's always in an oil form. I never have to wait for it. And again, this is the coconut oil, which you could use this or avocado oil. This is a 1/4 cup. It's going to go right into this wet ingredients here. And we're going to mix this together. And then we're going to add, that's it for our liquid ingredients. That is it. And now all we're going to do is add these together. And then we're going to fold in our dark chocolate chips. Now you can use any chocolate chip you like. I've already tried this recipe with milk chocolate chips. It just didn't taste as good. For some reason, this is called a chunky chocolate banana bread. So we want to use bigger chips. So today I'm using these dark chocolate chunks because it's a chunky bread. So you want it to be chunky. So I've got all of my wet ingredients all mixed up. So now I'm just going to add these wet ingredients right here to my dry ingredients. And then I'm going to mix this together. And then I'll fold in my dark chocolate chips. So I've got this together. Again, this is a vegan bread. And we're also going to add in my buttermilk that I waited for it to curdle. And it looks perfect. And that's another pro tip here. So oh, you got a question, Ralph?
Yeah, so the chocolate chips vegan.
The chocolate chips are not vegan, but they sell so many vegan chocolate chips. And I saw them there. But I figured we could use, these are not vegan chocolate chips, but of course you can buy the vegan chocolate chips. Alrighty, so I'm mixing all this together, waiting for it all to get blended, making sure every single bit of the ingredients is mixed together. And then I'm gonna fold in my dark chocolate chips. How many dark chocolate chips is the question. It calls for a 1/4 cup. See here? All right, so we're going to use a 1/4 cup of chunky dark chocolate chips. And you can see these are in dark squares. So they're really nice and chunky, just the way they're supposed to be. Maybe I'll put a little more in there. All right, so now I'm just going to fold this in. I'm going to put it all right into this baking pan. The oven's already been preheated. Ralph, did you preheat the oven for 350? This is going to bake for 1 hour. And I'll show pictures of how this turned out, but it all looks ready to go. I'm going to grab my rubber spatula over here and get this set right into my pan. And this, again, guys, is my sister's famous vegan chocolate chunk bread. The pro tip here was 2 things. 1, we used that vanilla flavored almond milk. We also made our own buttermilk using apple cider vinegar and vanilla almond milk. That was nice. And we also used the whole wheat pastry flour, which is also going to make it pop as well. So this is ready to bake for 1 hour on 350. So guys, it was so great having you. Our next recipes coming up next week are going to be a Moroccan style vegetable. We're going to do a chicken cashew stir fry and a no-bake mini Oreo cheesecake. We can't wait to see you, and we love being here. Keep it healthy, and we'll see you next time.